Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Wings Event Center. Thank you for spending part of your day here with us as we celebrate our return to the ice after a very challenging 19 months away. I'm John Peterson, Director of Public Relations and Broadcaster for the Kalamazoo Wings. Today I'm proud to be joined by our General Manager, Tony Will, as well as our Head Coach and Director of Hockey Operations, Nick Bootland. These two have some exciting news to share today, so I won't take away from that by rambling on too long. But I do want to mention that when COVID-19 hit and ended our 2019-20 season prematurely, obviously we didn't know how long we would feel the effects, how long that would last. From a team standpoint, obviously beyond that, everybody was kind of going through the same thing we are, reading and reacting to a challenging situation, and ultimately it forced us to cancel our 2020-21 season when we opted out last year due to safety reasons for our players, coaches, and fans. Luckily, as we've continued to monitor the situation following CDC guidelines, state and local health recommendations, we feel confident in saying we're excited to welcome our fans back to Wings Event Center safely here for the 2021-22 season. And we know a lot of people in this room and in the community are excited as well. A couple specifics worth mentioning before we get to today's big announcements. Masks here at Wings Event Center are highly recommended and encouraged, but they are not required. We do not have a requirement policy in place at the moment. Per the ECHL's return to play guidelines specific to how we all come back from the pandemic, this season, the players, coaches, and anyone else in the authorized hockey personnel will not be made available to fans for certain community events, corporate events, autograph sessions, handshake lines, those types of things, unless noted otherwise. So we will let everybody know if things are safe to continue those activities, but as we start the season, players, coaches, and anyone else in the authorized hockey de facto bubble, if you will not be available to the fans. Finally, we've implemented a clear bag policy this year at Wings Event Center. It's something that a lot of other venues around the country have already put in place, and we're the biggest reason is to make things a safer environment for any patron attending our events, as well as an expedited and contactless entry into the building. Anything beyond what can be held in pockets or a small clutch needs to be in a clear bag, such as a gallon-sized Ziploc, something along those lines. And finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank our owners, Bill Johnston and Rhonda Stryker. Without them, none of this would be possible. This return to play was a long process for us, obviously going back 19 months, as I mentioned. We were one of the only teams in our entire league that kept its staff entirely whole through the entire pandemic, which is a testament to Bill and Rhonda's commitment to and unwavering support to this team in our community. All right, so enough rambling from me. Without further ado, I want to introduce our head coach and director of hockey operations, Nick Bootland, who is entering his 13th season with the Kalamazoo Wings. Nick.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Obviously really excited to have some work to do, right? To get our back up here and to be in front of the media with our friends. You know, this is part of the gig. When you get to come up here, it feels real today. It's the first time it's felt real in a long time. It's been 570 plus days since we've had the opportunity to coach the Kalamazoo Wings, and it's something that I'm passionate about. So to be able to come back here today and have this meeting and get to come up here and be part of the press conference is truly something that I look forward to more than normal. You know, I actually used to dread these press conferences, but today I kind of like it. So we're happy to be here. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on what happened in the past here today, but I will touch briefly on it. Because of the 570 days, and no woe is me, because I know there's been people who have gone through a lot more than my family's had to go through, thanks to our ownership group. And one of the best days for us was, you know, the ability to tell my staff right before Christmas time that Bill and Rhonda were going to do what they did for all of us, and that they were going to take care of us. So that was a pretty special day, something I'll truly never forget from our ownership group. So I was excited about that. The difficulty was the players for us. That was the hardest part of when the original season canceled partway through when it wasn't finished, it was tough to look those players in the eye as they sat in the stands 6 feet apart and said that this is over, and it was fresh and it was brand new, and we thought it was going to be over in 5 or 6 weeks or 3 weeks even. And here we are today, 2 seasons later, and we're finally getting back on our feet and we're getting ready to roll. So it certainly was a difficult time, but it was a time for us to self-reflect, right? We're serious. You really think about what's important to you as an individual. You look back on that, and you're certainly excited to the fact. I think the fact that I got to coach my son through high school hockey for the first time ever was important to me. Very important to me, apparently. So, it's something that I've never been able to do before. So, to go on the ice with him and spend some time in a shortened high school season is something that I'll truly never forget, that's for sure. So, we're going to move on from that so that we keep this on the lighter side and keep smiles on everybody's faces here. I don't want to bring the mood down. So, new affiliation. We signed a deal with the Columbus Blue Jackets of the National Hockey League and the Cleveland Monsters of the American Hockey League. Obviously, they're American League franchise. We're really excited about the proximity of both those organizations to Kalamazoo. It sort of fits the footprint of what we've been trying to accomplish, right? We're trying to be able to have a player called up on Friday morning and be in the lineup for Cleveland that night. I think it's a huge benefit. The fact that they opened up and let me be part of their family for 7 days down in Columbus, and really behind closed doors with their coaching staff, part of their meetings on the ice. The opportunity to go on the bench for an NHL preseason game was the first for me, and their staff, I want to thank them. Brad Larson, the head coach there, was instrumental in that. Brad and I have a past. He was the captain of my first ever pro team. So the first 3 years I played pro hockey, Brad Larson was the captain of that team in Hershey. So for him to take me under his wing again, it was something that was pretty amazing, and it was a lot of fun to be part of. Chris Clark, he's the general manager of Cleveland and also head of player personnel with the Columbus Blue Jackets, is someone him and I worked hard to put this agreement together. And they have the same synergy that we're looking for, right? We were looking for them to use us and us be a resource for them, but at the same time, we want to share those moments. We want to be able to learn as coaches, we want to learn as staff, and we want to help their players along the way, and we want to help develop their players. And they have trust in us. The communication's been fantastic so far, and I alluded to how they let us into the closed doors right off the bat. So bringing back from our hockey operations staff, we'll have Joel Martin will be our assistant coach again. Obviously, Joel and I have been teammates first, and then I coached Joel for a long time, and I've had the pleasure to work alongside Joel for a few years now. And and we're really lucky to have a guy like Joel on our staff. His work ethic, his commitment to this game, his commitment to this community, him and his family, his wife Caroline and the boys certainly are ambassadors of what Kalamazoo Wing hockey is all about. So Scott Allison has been here. He's our athletic trainer again this year. Scott Allison has been here since he was a stick boy back in his teenage years. So he's a little bit older than me, so that was a really long time ago, Scott. So, but we appreciate him coming in, and he's the best in the business. And with some of the COVID protocols and things like that, we're going to lean on Scott heavily this year. And he's someone who's going to be instrumental in making the daily grind of what this is going to be like for us. He's going to be super important to us to make sure that we stay organized and we stay on top of things and follow the protocols that are needed. Mitch McLeod will be back as our equipment manager, and there's a lot of equipment managers, and all those hockey people know around here that equipment managers are usually really grumpy people. And I've only had 2 in 22 years that aren't grumpy. Shaky was the first, and Mitch is certainly the second. So he does a great job, super organized young man, and someone who also is going to be leaned on because of the protocols and the extra cleaning and the extra steps that are going to take on a daily basis for us to prepare for our players coming to the rink. So we're excited to have him back as well. So Kelly Cole is in here today. She's always instrumental. She's an executive assistant with us, and she works with Tony as well. And if it wasn't for everything she did on a daily basis, we probably wouldn't be standing up here. So she's the glue that holds this whole place together that people don't really recognize, that's for sure, because she's definitely behind the scenes and she prefers it that way. But thank you, Kelly. So we'll move on a little bit. We'll slide into maybe the roster in the upcoming year. I think one of the unknowns for us is that 75% of our roster didn't play professional hockey last year. And that's a huge number. I think when we sat back as a coaching staff, we were looking for players that did play. But the fact that only 14 teams out of 27 played in our league, only 5 of 11 played in the Southern Professional Hockey League, and that there was 120 less players in the American Hockey League, and many junior teams didn't play hockey, it made it pretty difficult. I mean, our goal was to have as many as possible. Obviously, the NCAA rules with giving everyone or granting everyone another season is another reason that those numbers are difficult to get to the number we were hoping for. There's lots of unknown. We've talked to a lot of different people outside of other sports to see what they've done in the past, to see what they recommend. We've talked to our athletic trainers, we've talked to our strength coaches, we've talked to people who've come back from lengthy injuries to see what those processes were going to be for those individuals and what they felt, what their successes and failures were. So we've tried to help our athletes as much as we can. We do have a few athletes that had the ability to play, and we're excited to have them back. There'll be some familiar faces with our team. Obviously, Justin Taylor will be back again, and I'm not going to know seasons how many, but he's been here for a long time. He was fortunate enough that he was able to find a job, and I think it was instrumental for him being 30 plus years old to find a job last year and be able to play hockey. Tanner Sorensen will be back with us on an ECHL contract this year after being on an American League contract 2 years ago. So he's a key core value guy that brings it every day and uses his speed, so we're excited to have him. Kyle Blaney, and I'm going to call him Kyle Blaney 2.0. Those who know Kyle closely really put in the commitment this summer or in the last year and a half to be prepared. And he's lost a ton of weight, and he's the fittest he's ever been, and is excited to get started. And then some new faces. Eric Bradford's a player that played against us in Toledo and played in Jacksonville last year, but played in Toledo and in Brampton against us for many years. Worked out with a close friend of mine in Ontario from 16 on. He's worked on with Aaron Downey, who, for those Detroit Red Wing fans, played a little bit with Detroit there. So he's worked out with him since he was 16, like I said, and his counterpart defenseman, Brendan Miller, they both played in Jacksonville. So they're going to be two of the guys that definitely played for us, and two sort of veteran guys that we're going to rely on, that we're excited to have. And then two younger guys would be Justin Murray, would be the defenseman who played 1 year of professional hockey on an American League contract. He was with Bridgeport at the time and spent some time in Maine. And then the last one would be Max Humitz, who spent last year with the Grand Rapids Griffins on an American League deal, went to Lake State University, and was able to play some games during the pandemic. So those are 4 guys we're super excited about that are new for us. So happy to be here, happy to work, happy to have some fun, happy to prepare to get going. Can't wait for the season to start. And I'll pass this on to our friend, Mr. John Peterson. Thanks.
Thanks, Nick. All that was missing was a mic drop, I think, at the end, so well done. Next, I'd like to introduce our general manager, just promoted to general manager this summer, by the way, and is the first woman ever selected on the ECHL Board of Governors Executive Committee. Please help me welcome Tony Will.
Sorry about that. I'm a little shorter than Nick and John. All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. I echo Nick's words talking about being out for 19 months and what that has been like. It has been challenging, to say the least, but we had so much great support from our ownership and Greenleaf Hospitality Group as a whole. So to be here today, 2+ years later, from the last time we held this press conference is truly exciting. I'm excited to announce that this season, we theme each season out, and this season is to say very high expectations. And so the 2021-22 season theme is Legacy of Legends. Since we joined the ECHL in 2009, 17 players have reached the NHL, and which is a huge accomplishment for our franchise, and we are going to be celebrating those alumni this season. In total, we've had over 200 K-Wings players have played in the NHL in our history, again, which is really impressive. So some returning themes for this hockey season include our annual home opener game, which is on Saturday, October 23rd. We will be playing the Toledo Walleye, and that game we are honoring our healthcare workers with Salute to Scrubs, and Bronson Hospital is our sponsor. Also returning this season is our fan design jersey contest, which we held over the summer. And the theme for that contest was our beautiful city of Kalamazoo. So we host that in partnership with Discover Kalamazoo, and we'll be unveiling that jersey for our New Year's Eve game on Friday, December 31st. Another popular theme that's returning this season is Marvel. So any Marvel fans out there will know, because we, again, over the off season, we put the vote in the fans' hands, and the fans voted on Groot. So this season we will be wearing specialty jerseys with Groot on the front of those jerseys, and we'll be auctioning those off on January 14th to a local nonprofit. New themes this season, which are very exciting in partnership with the league, Elf Night. So any Will Ferrell fans and Christmas movie fans, on December 12th, or actually December 11th, we will be wearing elf-themed jerseys, and I don't know, maybe drinking some maple syrup and eating spaghetti. That is to be determined. Not to be confused with Star Wars, which is returning this season, but we're also bringing in Star Trek on December 19th. So for any Trekkie fans out there, this will be an exciting theme for us to host at Wings Event Center during the holiday season. And then a new theme for us this season, we are celebrating the 30th anniversary of Home Improvement. So any Tim Allen fans out there, or fans of Michigan as a whole, which the show was held in Metro Detroit, or filmed, our celebrity appearance this year will be Richard Karn, will be here on February 18th. We are known, which many of you in this room know, for our colored ice games. We've hosted 4 colored ice games in our storied history. Orange Ice will be returning on October 30th. Lavender Ice, which is bringing highlight to Hockey Fights Cancer in terms of all cancers and bringing awareness to all cancer, will be on November 27th. Pink Ice will return in February around Valentine's Day on February 11th for breast cancer awareness, and we'll be partnering with Susan G. Komen on that effort. And of course, Green Ice, which we brought to, or started at Wings Event Center back, it was different back then, but it was 1982, and we will be hosting Green Ice again on March 18th. We have been, this is another big announcement today. We are adding a 5th colored ice game to our portfolio this season, and it is Rainbow Ice. We will be the first team ever in professional hockey to dye our ice rainbow. The Kalamazoo Wings are passionate about supporting diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives such as Hockey is for Everyone. In partnership with the NHL, we believe we can drive positive social change and create more inclusive communities. The Kalamazoo Wings are proud to be the first team ever in professional hockey to color the ice rainbow, to shine a light on creating an environment of togetherness, no matter the race, national origin, color, religion, gender, disability, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic status. And finally, we will be retiring 2 jerseys this season. There have been 3 retired in our 47-year history. The first jersey will be retired on Saturday, January 15th, and the second jersey will be retired on Friday, April 15th. And we are excited to add 2 banners to the rafters. And so with more details on that announcement, I'm going to send it back over to John.
I think I got it. All right. Thanks, Tony. As Tony mentioned, we'll be retiring 2 jerseys this season, and it's a decision that when we went through the process of who to select, it was, as you can imagine, very difficult. 47 years this team's been around. There's been a lot of great players who have made their mark on this team and this community. We've got several alumni members that still live in Kalamazoo. We've got alumni that have reached the NHL, as Tony mentioned. We organized a committee to make this decision on which 2 numbers will be retired this year. Something we didn't take lightly, and something we're really proud to announce for you here today. So the first jersey number that will be retiring on January 15th, 2022, Saturday night game here at Wings Event Center, is a gentleman who is here today, who still resides in Kalamazoo, who I've been very fortunate to meet and get to know a little bit over the last couple years that I've been here with the team. 42 years ago, this guy arrived in Kalamazoo as a 20-year-old rookie and helped this team achieve back-to-back Turner Cup championships in his first season, ended up playing 8 years here with the K-Wings, and as we stand here today, is in the top 10 in franchise history in games played, goals, assists, points, and yes, penalty minutes. I'm excited to announce our first jersey retirement ceremony of the season on January 15th will be the number 27, and that belongs to Neil Meadmore. I'd like to welcome Neil up here. Neil.
Well, it's been a long run, and I appreciate it, John and Tony, and I'll never forget when you made that call back in the summertime, and I was on speakerphone, and I'm going, what are you guys calling for? And it was kind of one of those surprise calls that you don't expect, and when it happened, I was overwhelmed and much appreciated. And to be mentioned in the same breath as Mike Wanchuk, George Gagnon, and my good friend Kevin Shammelhorn, it's quite an honor, very humbled to be part of that group, and looking forward to it, so it should be fun.
I'm excited for that day. Obviously, we'll have more for you from Neil and his teammates and all of us here. We're excited to make a big celebration for you all on January 15th. The second number that was selected is from a little bit different playing era out of our 47-year history. The folks that I've talked to that were here in this era would say he would be on the Mount Rushmore of fan favorites of his playing era here in Kalamazoo, which I think is high praise. And it was echoed by multiple people in the know. I'm learning as I go here. I'd be remiss if I tried to announce this player that we're going to be retiring on April 15th, because simply there's someone better to announce who it is. He played with him, he won a championship with him, he was a line mate with him, and he's here as well. Nick Bootland, will you come up and announce who this jersey number is on April 15th?
So I'm going to go off script a little bit. Sorry about that. Is that all right? I'm doing it anyway, John. So first, obviously, someone like Neil, he's a trailblazer. You know, he's a guy who blazed the trail for the rest of us to chase our dreams. And it shouldn't, 8 years in an era a long time ago when it was really tough to play, and he was as tough as they come. So, congratulations. I look forward to being part of that ceremony, and well-deserved for you, Neil, first of all. Next, one of my best friends, best teammates that a guy could ever have. He was small, he was mighty. He is the best backhand you've ever seen in professional hockey. He could backhand sauce a 4-footer, a 30-footer, a 50-footer with no summer preparation whatsoever. This guy would show up one day before camp, even though he resided in Kalamazoo at the end of his career. He would jump on the ice and be like, hey, you want to come on the ice? Because I'd been skating for 5 weeks every day, trying to continue to be in shape and get your feel and get your touch back a little bit. And this gentleman would jump on the ice one day, go out there for an hour, and then like he never left. Always joked around with that backhand that maybe should have been a left-hand shot. Toughest guy there ever was, pound for pound, when it comes to this guy. And he's a good friend of mine. I spoke to him last night again for about 40 minutes on the phone. And I'm excited and proud to announce that the guy that I would go to war with anytime, anywhere, is number 13, Tyler Willis.
Small group of K-Wings alumni have had their jersey number retired, so you are one of the next in the long line, Tyler, and it's well-deserved. What did it mean when you found out that your number 13 is going to be going up there in the rafters at Wings Event Center?
Yeah, it's such an unbelievable honor when you guys called and said that. I was just I was taken away, and I was speechless. I think I had to write you back after. I wrote you and went back after and just said, I apologized and said thank you and how much it means to me and my family. It's an unbelievable honor, and we'll always remember our time in Kalamazoo, and it's unbelievable that you guys are doing this. I spent a lot of years there with a lot of different guys, and the different organization. It changed over, and great guys like Bootland and Carlander and Turner, and I can go on and name Drake, and we had such good guys over the years, and then we had that one team where we all came together and we won the cup, and that was just a special time in my life. It was it was unbelievable the way we were treated, and the town, the organization, and it's just been a class act, and throughout my whole time there, the organization is just like, you can't say enough about them. It's going to be so much fun. I look forward to it. A little bit nervous, it's talking in front of everybody, and but need to bring my family down, and and my kid loves hockey. He'll be super pumped. And everybody. We're excited to get back. My wife's from Kalamazoo, or the Kalamazoo area, so we'll have a lot of people around, and a lot of friends will come back, and it'll be a good time for sure. So yeah, we're looking forward to it, and again, can't thank everybody enough.
All right, there you have it. As you can tell, because of the pandemic, coming out of the pandemic, Tyler, who lives in British Columbia, had a little trouble getting across the border for this event, but we appreciate him taking the time to record that video for today, and we look forward to seeing him in person on April 15th as well. That's going to put a wrap on today's press conference, and I just wanted to first thank you all for being here. It's after a long time of working from home, staring into a computer screen for 19 months. It's great to see so many friendly faces here. I want to thank Neil for being here and congratulate you again, and thank Tyler for taking that time to record that video. Of course, Nick and Tony for their insights. Those two work incredibly hard, and I'm fortunate to work for them and with them. And behind the scenes, Tim and his team, Matt, Calvin, for helping put this press conference on. There'll be one-on-one interviews with anybody who spoke today after the press conference concludes. Help yourself to food and some coffee over there as well. And we can't wait. Training camp's a couple days away, and our season opener is right around the corner, October 23rd here at Wings Event Center. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day.